Chelsea versus Pafos in the Champions League. This is going to sound crazy. This is a must-win game, and I'm going to tell you why it's a must-win game in this video. Why Chelsea must beat Pafos in order to get through to the top 8 of the Champions League. We've got a crucial game coming up after this against Napoli in the Champions League, and that is going to be a massive and tricky game. But we've got a lot to unpick in this video. Team news, injuries, fresh injuries as well, as confirmed by Rosenior. And also our predicted lineup will be included in this video. So if you like all that stuff, stick around because we're going to get into all of that right now. Now, Chelsea versus Pafos. This is a massive, massive game. This is a game that Chelsea have to win. Chelsea have to win. Chelsea, not because it's Liam Rosenior's 4th game in charge, but because Liam Rosenior really needs to make sure that he gets this win against Pafos tomorrow night so that when we go to Napoli, the stakes aren't always going to be against us. They're already going to be against us. We're going to Napoli. It's going to be Naples is never an easy place to go to play football. But this has to be a game where Liam Rosenior puts out a team that is going to be able to get us through to that knockout stages, top 8. We want to avoid the knockout stages. We want to go straight through to the Champions League next rounds. So this is a must-win game. This is a must-win game. Pafos are going to be the underdogs, which should give us a bit of a boost. But we've got to seriously get the win. We have to get the win. My worry about this game, and I'm going to be honest, my worry about this game is there's been many, many occasions where I've watched Chelsea in recent times, and we look like we should be the team bopping around the pitch, bopping the ball around, making something happen, and we look completely the opposite. We look like the team that's the underdog. We look like the team that's the underdog. I go back to Cardiff. I go back to that first half against Charlton. This has to be a convincing win. Convicting. We need to be killers. We need to be convicting. We need to be killers in this game. We need to be killers in this game. Because I think, look, I mean, I can show you guys the league right now. So as it stands at the moment, we are currently 13th. 13th. Now, we sit outside. Now, this is obviously, as I'm recording this, there are games going on as I'm recording this. So by the time this video comes out, this could even be worse for us. But as I'm recording it, we currently sit 13th in the Champions League. Now, we are 2 points off that. Now, again, as I said, I'm recording this. There's going to be games played before our match, after our match as well. But we have to make sure, I don't care what else we do tomorrow evening, is get that win. Now, Pafos have only won 1 game. And they've lost 2, and they've drawn 3. And they do have some inconsistent form, very much like we have. But what worries me about this game is it doesn't matter about the form in this Champions League format. You could go on a bad run domestically, 4 or 5 games, and go into that Champions League game and be amazing and get the 3 points. So I think this moment for us now is a moment where we have to make sure that we are convincingly good. There can be no mistakes. There can be no slip-ups defensively. Brentford was a very good performance in some aspects. And I have to use that word aspects because there's parts of our game that we looked really good in terms of the pressing, closing down the space, retaining ball possession, recycling the ball very, very well. But there were some things that I just thought, we're playing Brentford. And even against Charlton and against Arsenal, I thought we're playing these teams and we don't look convincing. And let's be honest, Pafos are not going to be worried coming to Stamford Bridge. This is not Stamford Bridge of old. This is not the Stamford Bridge of previous times. It really isn't. So we need to make sure that we are warriors on that. I'm going to use that word warriors. We are warriors on the pitch. Now, let's get into a bit of team news because the team news from earlier on today, we now know that Malo Gusto potentially will not be fit for this game. We know that there's the illness that's been spreading around Cobham, around Chelsea training ground, the complex, is still there. It's still lingering. But Liam Rosenior did say that Enzo Fernandez, Esteval, Cole Palmer, they're all back in training. They've been training today. I want to talk about Cole Palmer. We are going to do a transfer video tomorrow, but I want to talk about Cole Palmer because he didn't celebrate his goal against Brentford. It's caused a lot of noise. It's caused a lot of, I don't know, question marks about is he happy? Is he fully fit? And I'll be honest, I've said it again. I said it against Arsenal, I think, in the League Cup. I said it against Brentford. If he's not fit, and I get it, look, it's his body. He knows his body better than anyone. But if he needs surgery, Cole Palmer, he has to get the surgery. He has to get surgery. Because by not getting the surgery, you're prolonging so much of your career. You saw it with Michael Owen, you see it with so many of these players that have amazing careers, and then the lifespan of a football is short anyway. But I think prolonging the surgery is only going to make the injury that he's currently got, which he's clearly got, a lot worse than it already is. And for me personally, I would just like to think that the medical team, Liam Rosenior, can see that and be like, actually, Cole, you know what? Go and get your surgery. We don't want to see you putting in six or sevens out of tens. We want to see you putting in the 10 out of tens that you was putting in a season or two ago. Top performances. So maybe this is a game where you sit Cole Palmer out. Maybe this is a game where you play Enzo Fernandez in that higher role. We're going to get onto the predicted lineup shortly, but you've got to question whether do you need Cole Palmer against Pafos? Or do you want to save him? We've got some key games coming up in the Premier League. We've got Napoli, as I said, in a couple of weeks as well. We've got that second leg coming up against Arsenal at the Emirates. So do you want to save Cole Palmer for those type of matches where there's a bit more at stake? And I think there's a lot at stake tomorrow. I think there's a massive game for us to go and win. And I think more so for the fans, as much as this is not the game that we all probably would have wanted to, throw all our energy into, it's still a game that we have to win. I don't fancy my chances going to Napoli to get a result. And I think if we don't win tomorrow, then we have to get a win against Napoli in a couple of weeks' time. So I don't know what to take from that, whether you think we should be trying to go all out tomorrow, whether we should be resting Cole Palmer. Let me know what you think in the comments. Am I being too critical? Should we be resting Cole Palmer? Or should we be trying to play him through this injury, get through this bad spell, and maybe give him a rest afterwards? Let me know what you think in the comment section about Cole Palmer. Now, back to tomorrow's game. David Luiz, and massive doubt for Pafos. Obviously, 2012, you won the Champions League with us. But it's a doubt for tomorrow's game. And look, I mean, I have to hold my hands up, and I can hold my hands up with pride. I don't watch much Cyprian football. I don't. Amonio, shout out still, he'll know. I follow Amonio a lot, but with Pafos, I don't. So I don't really know much about them. But I do know they have had some inconsistent form of late. And we need to capitalize on that because our form hasn't been great. Our form hasn't been great. But I do think the predicted lineup I'm about to show you will win us the game. It will win us the game, 100%. Because we have got players that can come in and fill roles. If Malo Gusto's not fit, if we need to rest Reece James, we've got Josh Ashempong. So my lineup I'm about to show you, I want to know in the comment section, would you change anything? Or do you agree? Do you agree that I've picked the best preferred lineup that we should be going with tomorrow? With no further delay, let's get straight into it now. So, as you can see, I have gone with Jurgensen in goal. Now, I have debated with myself all day about whether Sanchez or Jurgensen should start this game. And I'm going to be honest, you could flip a coin because I think Sanchez is the more trusted goalkeeper. But in certain games like this, where I would like to think that with Jurgensen and with the back four that we have currently in this lineup, that we have enough to deal with Pafos and not need Sanchez. Now, a lot of people always say to me, the goalkeepers are, the one that doesn't really need the rest and whatever else. But Sanchez has been playing some amazing games, some amazing football, pulling on some brilliant saves. And I feel like this is a game where you can rest him. Now, I'm still on the fence, 50-50, 100%. I don't know who to go with. But I've gone with Jurgensen. Now, right back, I've gone with Josh Ashempong because I think Ashempong, for me, he never puts a foot wrong. He doesn't look out of place. He doesn't look out of, out of his depth. He just looks like a player that is willing to always run into the spaces here. He can drop into that inverted midfield role here. Sometimes he advances even higher up the pitch. We've seen him in the opposition half trying to create something, make something happen. So I think for me, Achiampong has to start now. We know there's a doubt for Malagusto. I think Reece James can sit this game out. I don't think we need Reece James in this one now. The two centre backs I've gone with, Trevor Chalobah and Benoit Badiashile, tough choices. It's a tough choice. Who do you go with? Again, flip a coin, because you could put Tosin in that back line. You could use Wesley Fofana, but again, with no disrespect to Pafos, I don't know much about them. I don't think their attackers, their midfielders, will cause too many problems for our defensive line. Now, I don't mean that in any disrespectful way, but I would like to think Chalobah and Badiashile can deal with whatever comes their way tomorrow evening. We'll have to see. Now, I've gone with Joel Heto on the left side of our defense. I think Marco Correa, again, very, very reliable, very, very good player. But I think sometimes you just have to play. And I found out today, and it doesn't really make no difference to me, but I found out today that Joel Heto is on a nice chunk of money every single week at Chelsea. And I think we need to start using him because he's a good player as well. He doesn't look out of sorts, out of place. I think we need to use Joel Heto in the role of left back tomorrow evening. Now, I've gone with 3 of the midfield, and I'm going to say it's a 3 in the midfield because I feel like Enzo Fernandez tomorrow evening, and I feel like this is a game where Liam Rosenior has the luxury to tweak and try out some of his tactical ideas in a game where you must win. Of course, 100% you've got to win the game, but you've got opportunity to play an opposition that, again, you should be able to beat. They look like they're going to play potentially 5 at the back, 3 centre backs, 2 in midfield, 2 wing backs. So you've got option here to drop Enzo into this midfield role, and at times progressing forward, and you can press forward with the team. And I personally think if he plays in that role, Enzo, he should be partnered with Santos and Moises Caicedo in the midfield. And I've gone with Garnacho and Esteval on the wide areas here, with Liam Delap, who did the press conference duties this afternoon with Liam Rosenior. I think he has to be in this game because I do think whenever you see a team that's playing with 3 centre-backs, or you're playing with someone, if it is David Luiz that plays in that game who will make it difficult for our strikers, I think you need some physicality in that box. You need someone who's physical. And I think Liam Delap, I think he has a point to prove a little bit in terms of he hasn't had the best of starts of his career at Chelsea. He's been sent off, booked a couple of times. He needs to start proving his worth at the club. Because I'll be honest, and we're going to do the transfer video tomorrow, so please make sure you subscribe to that, to the channel. Make sure your notification bell's on. We're going to be talking transfers tomorrow because Julian Alvarez, who I've been a big fan of since he was at City, even before then, is potentially available. Now, he would be an upgrade on every single attacking option we have at this football club. If we can get him, and we're going to talk transfers tomorrow, I don't want to dive into the transfer video today, but if we can get him, Liam Delap, João Pedro, Mark Gui, someone's got to go. On loan, a sale, but you got to go. We're going to talk transfer tomorrow. Let me think about the lineup that I have created on the screen here. What would you change? Do you agree with the lineup? Does it need changes? Is it enough to just override? Let me know what you think in the comment section. What you think in the comment section about the lineup. Now, my predicted scoreline. I'm going to go 3-0. I'm going to go 3-0. We should not struggle against this team. We shouldn't struggle. And if we do struggle, question marks will need to be asked to the coach, to the manager, to the players, everything. We can't lose this game. It's as simple as that. This is the way to get us through to that top 8. Results hopefully go our way and we get into the top 8. Because if we don't, that Napoli game, it's not looking good for us. It's not looking good. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Link in the description, and we'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you join us live tomorrow. We'll be talking transfers, all that good stuff. Jeremy Jacquet, Fofana, Sterling, Dezazi. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. We'll be live, so get involved in the chat as well. And we'll be back tomorrow.